Welcome back, everyone. Today is kind of a special day. We have a lot to talk about on the car. But before that, I just want to thank all the new subscribers to the channel. I think right now we're at 369 subscribers, which is pretty awesome. Way more than I ever thought I would get, but we are on our way to that 1,000 subscriber mark. So by the end of the year, that's my goal. So if you're watching this right now and you like the video that's ahead, make sure at the end you hit that subscribe button, throw it a like too, if you're feeling generous. Let's get into the car. So the last time I made a video, the last time that you guys heard me talk, we were working on the intake and we actually changed out a part called the IACV valve. If you want to check that video, it's up in the link up here. But that was kind of the last thing I left you guys off with, and then I was kind of silent for a couple weeks, and that's because we have been going hard on this car, getting a lot done, and you'll see when we get to the interior in a moment, or if you're following my Instagram, you probably already know what's coming. I want to start with all the updates I've done on the car over the past 2 weeks. We're going to start at the front, work our way back, and maybe we'll even get the doors, windshield, trunk or boot lid, and the hood put on today. It's gonna be a big one. All right, starting at the front here, as you notice, there used to be a big plate here that would block our exhaust from just smashing up against the radiator. For the time being, I've actually welded in, just tacked in right now, but a downpipe just so that it redirects the exhaust underneath the car when we are trial running it. I'm not sure if this is the placement I want. It is kind of close to the belt down here, so we'll see. Another option is to run it down through this hole here, so we'll see that, but that's just kind of temporary for now so that we can run it. This mount is all welded up and this is all solid. I no longer have to zip tie it to the front of the car. So in terms of the engine and it running, everything is kind of not final form, but ready to run, ready to go. This just would need to be fully welded all the way around. As well, this, I don't know what we're doing with that yet, so it's just zip tied there. The only other thing in the engine bay that we need to do is this flare that I did for the clutch line is bad, but I need a different flare kit to do it, so I'm waiting on a friend, and then I'll be getting that done. Besides that, everything's good to go there. I'm pretty pumped about that. But that's really not the main part of this video. The main part of this video is what's on the inside. So take a look at what we've done here. Now, the last time you saw this interior, it was torn apart. If I have a little clip, I'll throw it here, or if I have a picture, it'll be up on the screen and you're seeing it now. Last thing you saw was just raw metal open up. You can see the transmission, wires everywhere, no seats. It was pretty bad, definitely no dash. And so let me take you through what I've done over the last 2 weeks. And I wanna just talk really quickly about it and what still needs to be done and what I have done. All right, so first things first, we started with creating the physical dash. We actually created it a while ago. I just cut the hole for the actual digital dash and threw a coat of paint on it because it was starting to rust. That's really all we did with the actual dash, okay? It's still loose. There's still work that has to be done behind it, so it's just on there for now, just to, I don't know, kind of see the way it looks. After that, I realized that I really needed to finish boxing in my transmission tunnel and center console. Before we had this on, again, just threw a quick coat of paint. All of this is going to be different later, so I don't care the colors. You can see it's all mismatched. We have gray here, we have a green down here, and this is black, but that's okay right now. It's doing its job of just keeping the rust out. But we decided we needed to actually fill in the rest of this so that when we drive, if our drive shaft, or when our drive shaft explodes, we're at least safe. Also, just to contain all of the, all the wires and everything that we did behind it. So we made a plate for this side and for the other side, and made a little plate for here. There will be some cup holders there, or at least one cup holder. So this piece is just, that's why it's not painted or anything. And I know a lot of you said that I should move my shifter forward. We've had this discussion so many times. That cup holder is very important to me. And so we're gonna keep it where it is. I've sat in here for a long time, shifting through the gears and stuff, and I'm definitely cool with where it's at for now. In the future, maybe we'll change it, but I really do like it as it is. Although I think I need a new shift knob. What do you guys think? Anyways, coming through, we have our digital dash. This thing is fully wired up right now. Most everything works on it. There's only 2 issues right now. One, I'm getting no signal from my coolant sensor, which obviously is pretty important. And number 2, it says I have a full tank of gas, which I definitely do not, but it is at least getting a reading from the float inside the tank, so that's a positive. Besides that, blinkers work. There's obviously power to it. When I rev the car, it shows my RPMs. So it's good to go. It's good to test drive at least. There is no speed sensor hooked up yet. That's gonna be something I have to figure out later. Underneath it, we have this little panel. This is gonna control all of my lights as well as a fan that I'm gonna be getting for my radiator. For now, this is not, well, it's literally not hooked up at all. That's the next thing I have to do. Underneath that, we have our ignition, which I think is kind of a cool spot having it there. I could have put it up here, but this is pretty flimsy, and if I need to take it off at all, the column, I don't know, what do you call it? The ignition cylinder, it's quite large, quite heavy. I just really didn't want it attached to there, so we have it down there. I think it kind of finishes it off pretty good, and so I'm really happy with the way that is. Now, when I made this piece, this metal cutout for the middle, I didn't really realize that when I added the plates on the side, it would get a lot wider. And so I actually have another piece traced out that I'm gonna recut this. I just haven't yet in case there's any changes that I end up making. But that's why this is just, well, it's not attached yet. Again, it's just sitting in its place to see all the wiring. Same with this, like I said, it's just there, kind of holding its place. All right. Another thing that we hooked up is we have our signals. This is actually from the Miata. I bought a brand new one when I first got the car because the old one wasn't working. And if you guys remember my very first video, I said I was not going to modify this car. I was going to just get it safetyable and then start modifying the car. And so I bought, horns, I bought lights, I bought everything for it. And then we got a little carried away and bought a Miata and tore out all the interior and brought the car down to absolutely nothing. But here we are, and I wouldn't change it. I really, really wouldn't change it. So we have those hooked up. We have our horn hooked up in the Midget, sorry. It was just a push horn for that, which I think is really cool. The horn actually isn't hooked up in the front yet, but it does work. I did try it, and it sounds hilarious. And then you might notice I have this steering wheel here. This wheel right now is the original wheel. We are not going to be using it, but it does have an attachment here that has the auto turn off for the signals. And so I want to incorporate that somehow, but that was harder than it looked. But this is kind of the style wheel that I want in the future, and I think that just makes it look so much better. I love the little yellow accent. I don't think we're going to keep the car yellow, but I do want to pay a little homage to the to the original color in the original car. I think we might keep this yellow too, obviously redo it and make it nice, but I think just the little yellow accents on the inside will be real nice. After that, we installed the driver's seat. It is in here. We have seat belts that come across, all great. The only thing is we might have to shorten the seat belts because we just have this hanging here and it won't retract anymore because these cars are very small. This seat we do not have in yet, because this panel on this side is our access for our drive shaft, which is not yet in. That's going to be removable in the future anyway, so before we put that seat in permanently, I want to make sure that the drive shaft's in and we're all set there. Nothing really changed in the back. I am making a fake floor to go on here to hide all of the fuel pump, fuel filter, all that kind of stuff, and my battery will be on top, just giving a kind of layer between that and the fuel stuff, but that's in the makings. And that's about it. I have an exhaust underneath the car from actually Chris's Midget. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not, but right now we are just rocking the dump from the downpipe, and again, that's good enough for all the testing and stuff for me. So the plan with this car is my March break that I'm off for a week is coming up actually in about 2 weeks. I think we have 2 more weeks of school. And then, the teachers get that week off. The students do too, but trust me, the teachers need it more. And so on that week, I'm planning to actually test drive this car. We do still need to bleed the brakes, but all the brake lines are in, everything's good for that. We just need to weld up the drive shaft, put it in, and we'll be able to run it as soon as that clutch line is fixed. All right, so now for the moment I've been waiting for, and any of you guys who've been watching, maybe you want to see this too. I want to show you just the greatest feeling in the entire world. We have the battery hooked up right now. That's obviously not its spot where it's going to live. But we get in our car, we put our key in, and we turn it, and we have our dash light up. Again, this dash is from a UTV, from like a side-by-side. We do have a check engine light. I know the car's not on, so it should show it anyways, but there's definitely a check engine light, which, I mean, I can't really complain about that. But then if we do this, we can. Give that another go here. We can actually run the car, which is so exciting and something that I've been so excited to do. I know the last video or the last couple videos we've run it, but it's so nice to be able to just hop in, turn a key, and go. All right, so that is kind of where we are at. And honestly, I think I'm ready to put all the doors and stuff back on. I definitely will be taking them off in the future to paint them, to strip them down, but I'm ready for my car to look like a car again. I look at Chris's, and even though his is a mess and he's still doing all the stuff that he's doing with his, it just looks so much more like a car, and I really do miss that. I think we're gonna throw that on. I did have some comments on my Instagram saying that people weren't a huge fan of the look of this, and so I want to just talk for a quick minute on that. Number one, I never ever, when I bought this car, had an intention of restoring an MG Midget. I have no emotional tie to this car. I've learned to love these cars, and I've learned to really appreciate the history and culture behind it. I think it's really cool. I love a clean MG, but I didn't buy this car to make an MG. I bought this car as a vessel for my creation. And my creation, the kind of image that I've had in my mind is this kind of street, full-size go-kart. Like, I want to have fun with this. I want to enjoy it. I want to cruise in it. I want to rip it. I don't care so much how it looks or that it's, looks like an MG or is specific to, to a 1978 car. That being said, this is kind of the look that we've come up with, but it is very far from being done. This is just kind of the base of everything. As you can see with Chris's, he's got some foam on his. I have some foam over there for mine too. I'm going to make an actual dash. All of this is going to be either carpeted or wrapped or have something over it. I'm not sure yet. But this is just kind of the base. This is just the bones of it, the structure of it, and it will change in the future. So if it's not your style, I kind of had to build this big thing to house the transmission. I didn't have to come up with it. I just kind of like the look of a control panel and kind of feel a bit like I'm in a fighter jet. But this is mine. So if you're not a huge fan, I totally understand that, and everyone's got different vision. But hopefully you guys still stick around and see what it turns into in the future, because this is a view that I love. I'm pumped about this. It's unique. No one else in the entire world has a car like this, that looks like this, that's set up this way. It's mine. And so I love it. So thanks you guys so much for watching and for understanding that. So if you enjoyed the video, please just give me a follow, subscribe, maybe like the video. You know what? If you have a friend that you think would enjoy this, go share it to them. Say, hey man, there's this guy on YouTube. His name's Greg from Modern Garage. He is building this cool little car, and I think you should take a look at it. I would be so grateful. Like I said, next video, we'll be putting all the body panels back on, and we'll be making this look like a car again. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Remember, just be you and do the things you love. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.